How you guys doing? Today I want to talk about some of the top banks that pull from your Experian credit report and some strategies to do with concerning that. So stay tuned. My name is Jay and welcome to Ask a Debt Collector, a subsidiary of Clear and Strategic. Now I've been in the debt collection industry for over 15 years. I've done it all from management to owning 2 debt collection agencies. For the past 10 years, I've been the go-to guy for friends and family for questions regarding debt and credit, and now I want to be that person for you. If you have any questions, put them down in the comment section. I promise I'll answer those questions. For those of you who are new to this channel, be sure to like and subscribe. Let's go. As always, let's get through the household items really quick. I am doing 25 people for absolutely for free for credit repair. I will be announcing that next Monday. So if you haven't had the chance to enter, be sure to click the link, watch the video. It gives a description of what to do and how to enter into this. It is filling up quickly. So if you want to get 6 months of free credit repair, be sure to sign up down there. Also down in the link in the description, we have a free letter bundle. It gives you the free cease and desist, pay to delete, and a Goodwill letter absolutely for free. This is to help you out on your credit journey with regards to taking yourself from wherever you're at and getting you into the 700 club. Thirdly, I do have an affirmation video down there for great credit. Affirmations have always been a great part of my life. I believe that you could speak things into existence, but first it starts with your mind state, changing that mind state. Obviously, we've all been there with bad credit, and the reason why we have bad credit is because of our mind state and the things that we did at that time span. So there has to be a correction in that, a pivot, if you will, with regards to cleaning up your credit and getting it right. And it all starts with your mind state. So check out that video on affirmations for great credit. And then as far as digital products go, I do have a 24-hour inquiry removal kit down below. Click the link, check that out. And then for those of you who are, if you're in the 4s, the 5s, or 6s as far as your credit goes, you're looking at trying to get into the 700 club, you want to hire a professional. Down below is a 20-minute free consultation. Sign up for that, and we can see if we're a great fit for each other. Now, some of you guys, let's get into the topic. Some of you guys may be like wondering, okay, well, why is Jay talking about an Experian, banks that pull from an Experian credit report? Why is he saying that when there's 3 major credit bureaus, Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian? The reality is this: when you're getting your credit restored, whether you're doing it on your own or you're hiring a credit professional, one of the main things that they want to do is they want to get a copy of your 3 reports. Now, those of you who have pulled a copy of your 3 reports, you know definitely that in order to have all 3 of those credit reports pulled, and once you get them, you get a FICO score, or whether you go through Vantage score, I don't care who the score is through. Typically, you have a score that you'll get from Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. And typically, those 3 scores can be different, right? You'll see, and they can fluctuate from 50 points to 100 points to maybe even 10 or 15 points on each one of those credit bureaus. And so I want to talk about Experian in particular, right? I want to talk about some of the top banks that pull from Experian and how you can use this in your advantage with regards to building credit, right? The reality is this: let's say you pulled a copy of your credit report. Your Equifax showed like a 680. Your TransUnion showed a 695, and your Experian showed a 730. This happens a lot of times, and the reason why is it just depends on what creditors are reporting to what credit bureaus and what you have negatively posting on your credit report. And that's why you get 3 credit scores. Now, the example that I'm about to give you now with regards to the banks pulling from Experian does not work with buying a home, right? The reason why is because that's a larger investment, and a lot of times with mortgage lenders do, in order to vet you and to see if you're approved, they'll look at all 3 of your credit reports and they'll take the middle score. But in this case, this is completely different. These are the top banks that take from Experian. So like I was stating before, suppose you had those 3 scores. If your Experian credit score is higher and you're trying to get approved for credit right now, then you want to find banks that will only pull from Experian. Let me tell you guys a story. I actually did a consultation not even about 2 weeks ago, and I got 2 clients. It was a husband and a wife, and I remember when they signed up for it, they both had it bad. They hired some other company or whatnot, and for whatever reason, things didn't work out. And so the husband worked on his credit report directly, right? And so after talking to him, and now mind you, I didn't even fix his credit. I'm just doing a consultation. And as I'm talking to the husband, he's explaining to me that he's in the 7s. And I'm like, okay, if you're in the 700 club, right? Your FICO score is a 700. What's the problem? And his other 2, so he had like a 740 on Experian, but his other 2 credit reports were lower, and like the high 6s, like 690 something or whatnot. And he was just like, because it's showing some collection account that he's been trying to get rid of. He was trying to do it on his own, but he hasn't been successful with that. Now, currently at the time, he only had 1 credit card. I believe they had about $1,000 balance on there. He had some secure credit cards that he had, and he advised his wife to get some secure credit cards. Not necessarily a step that I would teach, but getting secure credit cards are not bad if in fact you can't find an authorized user with good credit history. But nevertheless, that's what he did. And so as I was talking to him and doing it, I was like, well, what's your Experian score? And it was like a 740 something. And the other ones were low. And then I told him, hey, you know what? Who do you bank with? He told me who he banked with. He banked it with a credit union that actually pulled from Experian. So just off of the consultation, he hasn't paid me a dime. I gave him the advice of this. I said, go to that credit union online. He had the app. And I said, apply for a credit card. A specific credit card I had him apply for, which was an American Express credit card through the credit union. And he was a little sketchy about it. I remember his wife even telling me like she had to convince him to do it. And this was all during the consultation. I told him, hey, let me know what happens. And this was after the consultation. I wasn't even sure if they're going to sign up for credit repair because I figured they probably wouldn't need it. Next thing you know, when the phone call ended, probably about 30 minutes after haggling back and forth with his wife, he applies for this credit card and he gets approved. Not only does he get approved, he gets approved for the highest amount he's ever been approved for, a $30,000 credit card. And he calls me, or his wife calls me back, and she's just like, oh my gosh, thanking God, thanking the universe, everybody with regards to that. She said she knew something was special with regards to the call, and she knew that God placed me in their lives, and he couldn't believe that he got approved for the 30 grand. And then I remember she was asking like, well, how did you know to apply for this credit card in particular? And I explained to her, well, I knew that his Experian credit report was very good. At a 740, you're considered very good credit at this time span. And so I knew that this in particular bank would pull from his Experian credit report. And because that was the highest score, that is a strategy if you're looking at trying to get approved for credit. In his case, he was an older gentleman. He has had credit for a long time. He just had low balances, didn't understand a lot of other stuff that I'm going to teach him and his wife now that they are clients. But he couldn't understand how he got approved for 30 grand when just not too long ago he couldn't get approved for other stuff, or he was afraid to because he's had good credit in the past, and then when his credit went bad, he was always getting denied. And that is a strategy that I teach you guys with regards to pooling, and that's why I talk about Experian in particular, just because of that situation. Now, I will do videos on Equifax and TransUnion, but we're going to stick to Experian for now with regards to that. And so that is a good strategy. So whatever FICO score is a little higher, if you're looking at trying to build credit and maybe you have that one account or some some balances on some accounts that are showing on other credit reports that are tanking your score, then you can look at whatever the highest credit score is, find out what banks actually pull from that credit report, because typically banks are only pull from one credit report, and that one with the highest FICO score is a great opportunity for you to apply for and get approved for. Finding whatever the better FICO score is, especially when you're in the 700s, and applying for credit that only pulls from that actual credit bureau. But there's Andrews Federal Credit Union, PSE Credit Union, NASA Federal Credit Union, First Tech Federal Credit Union, Discover, Chase, Citibank, PNC, Statement Department of Federal Credit Union, as well as my favorite bank, American Express. They all pull from Experian. So if you look at a copy of your credit report and you may see that your Experian score is higher than the other two credit scores and you're trying to get approved for some credit or you need a credit card or whatever the circumstance is, then a great strategy is to find banks that only pull whatever from that credit bureau that you have the highest score at, and that increases your chances of getting approved for credit. Now, if you have any questions about credit or debt, put them down in the comment section. I promise I'll answer those questions. As I always state, you be great.